Welcome back. I'd like to introduce our next guest. She's a real estate broker and a team market leader from Remax First in Ajax. Here is longtime realtor Mary Roy.
Hello.
Hi Mary, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
First, let's start off by talking about the real estate market and the shortage of inventory out there right now and the lack of people selling.
Actually, real estate for sellers is the best it's ever been for January in 15 years, I understand. This is the shortest time we've had the lowest amount of inventory in January in
Yes.
15 years. So that's
incredibly low.
Yeah, which means that apparently the prices are up 8.5%. I got that information this morning.
Yes, that's good information.
Yeah. So
it's very high for prices are very high right now.
for sellers, it's great.
Great, yeah.
For buyers, it's tough. We have a lot of multiple offers going on right now. So it makes it tough because
To find the buyers a house, it makes it very tough. So I think one of the reasons that there's a lot of shortage out there could be that people maybe it's the weather. People are gearing up to sell in the spring, sort of thing. Some people may be holding back because they think that their house is going to look nicer in the spring, and people are going to come out of hibernation. But that's not always true, is it, Mary?
No, I've been trying to figure out why. I think we have a shortage of building, and there are a lot of people moving into Ontario,
Right.
especially in the Greater Toronto area, and we
Yes.
don't have enough homes. And in our area, in the Durham region, builders did hold off building
Yes.
in the
Same
last
in
5
Mississauga.
years. Yeah, I don't know about Mississauga, and that has created where we don't have the turnover for the resales and new inventory. So
Right.
but a lot of people are banking land, so I see a lot of new homes being built probably in the next 10 to 20 years.
Right, but mostly on the outskirts, like in
Yes.
Mississauga too. There's not that much land left to build subdivisions, so people are going to Milton and Kleinberg, and they're going around the outskirts. But it is true that there was more new home construction a few years ago. So there was a lot more inventory on the market. Another reason might be too the Canadian dollar is so low. It's less than 70 cents US. So for a lot of Canadian companies, that's increased expenses, and they may be laying off people, and people can't afford to make the move up for some people.
And a lot of people are investing more into their homes, like they're really upgrading and make their home their castle. So they're putting in the beautiful kitchens, en suites, bathrooms. When in the old days, young couples would buy the townhouse and the 2-story and then the 2,000 square foot home.
Upgrade and upgrade.
Now you find a young couple, they'll mortgage themselves way higher because of the interest rates being low.
Yes.
And they're buying a home like for 600, 700 as their first home.
Yes, that's true.
Plus their incomes are way higher than they were 20 years ago.
And they're putting the money into renovations and upgrades.
Yep.
That's true. On another note, what do you feel is fueling the market? I mean, there's a lot of buyers out there. What do you feel like? I think that it's attributed to foreign investors who still see the Toronto market as being undervalued compared to the world stage. Is that true? And it's a very safe haven to invest your money. So compared to like places like Tokyo, Japan, Vancouver, we're still undervalued, very much so.
Actually, we sure are, especially outside. Mississauga is a bit higher than Durham, but if you look at somewhere like Durham region or Milton, Milton is raising, their prices are going up as well.
It's going up.
But Oakville is pretty high. But, and I find that people, young folks today are not afraid to mortgage themselves.
No, that's
like
true.
When we mortgaged our homes, if we had a
$20,000
mortgage, it was like huge, right? Mind you, the interest rates were 18%,
yes,
right?
That's true too, Mary.
But now they'll mortgage themselves, where I'm an older person, and when I sell them a home, I go, "Are you sure you want to mortgage yourself online?" But like they have no fear.
The average mortgage is what, $300,000-400,000?
No, it's more like $480,000 to $550,000.
There you go. Yeah. So they're not afraid of that because I guess their income is higher too,
Yep.
right? But we were a little bit more, I think, conservative when it came to mortgages. I think, yeah, the low interest rates are also another reason that
Huge, yeah.
that there's a lot of buyers out there and they're fueling the market too. And maybe like the, you know, generations like the boomers giving their money to the children's to invest, right?
Yeah,
Their wealth.
there's such
Yeah.
a combination of many things happening right now. The baby boomers are definitely like they're
Yeah.
also selling the big homes and wanting bungalows. We don't have enough bungalows, so that's creating the
Yes.
prices of bungalows to go higher because of high demand, low inventory. So there's so many different things happening. It keeps it very interesting for us, that's
Yes.
for sure.
So we really need inventory. We really need houses to sell out there.
Oh yeah. Actually, we need more homes on the market. Anyone that's thinking of selling, get your
Well-
home out there because this is the time to do it.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
and you'll
Don't
get
wait.
top price. Top
Yeah.
price. The prices are very good for sellers. Let's talk about multiple offers because that is what is probably you know, shortage of inventory, multiple offers, right? What's the best way that a person can compete in a bidding war?
Well, right now I have a team, and what I explain to my team is like know how number of offers you have. Last
Yeah.
night I did an offer. We had 7 offers, and the night before we had 5 offers. And the agent that won, basically she did her homework. If you're in a, I think if you're in a price range up to like 450, go at least 5,000 an offer and a bit more.
Yes.
If you're at a higher price, like over 550, go 10,000 per offer and a bit more.
Right, right.
One thing you have to be careful though is, does the buyer qualify? Because
Right.
you can give as much money as you want, but if they don't qualify for the financing, then you're not going to close. So there's that scary part
There's
as
that
well.
scary, yeah. So you're saying rule of thumb is usually if you're in the higher end, you're purchasing something in the higher end and there's 5 offers, go $10,000 an offer and above the list price. That's
Also-
usually the rule of thumb. So if there's 5 offers, 50,000 over the list price.
That's right. And also, you have to check the market, the value
Yeah.
of the home, because some agents are pricing the homes below value. So if the value of the home
Exactly.
is 50,000 more, then make sure you adjust for the true value plus you're
Right.
competing with the offers.
So always ask your agent to do a comparative market analysis before you put in an offer because the seller might have undervalued the home just to get multiple offers,
That's right.
correct?
That's right.
So do that and then estimate per offer. Yeah.
And that's why it's really important that you hire an agent that
Very
they really
important.
understand, you know, the value of the product.
Yes.
Because otherwise you could either lose the offer or you could overpay for the home.
Exactly, exactly. Does the highest price always get the offer?
No, because if you have a high offer and they have 5% down, I wouldn't advise our clients to accept that offer because it will
Exactly.
fall. If I don't believe the home will evaluate for that price, it's okay, they had the money, but it won't close.
Yes, that's
So
true.
very, very important, what I always ask is, have they been qualified? What is their down payment? And unless they have at least 20%, I wouldn't even consider when it's multiples.
Right. As a seller's agent, you would never advise your seller
Yeah.
to take an offer conditional on financing when competing because you don't know if that buyer is qualified for the loan. Correct? So
That's
you always
right.
want to make sure that they get qualified, that your buyer has a loan approval so that when you're in a competing offer, you can waive, you know, if your loan's solid, you waive it, right?
Yeah, and even if it's a firm offer, make sure that, you know, your agent asks the other agent, you know, how much down payment do they have? Are
Right.
they qualified? Because I did offers in the last 2 days. Their homes like first-time buyers. None of them were conditional on financing or home inspection.
Right, none of them are anymore because
No.
people are understanding they have to go get their
Yeah.
loan approved before they make the offer because there's,
Yeah.
and the same with the home inspections. I think people might be doing pre-home inspections now because
Yes.
you want to get a home inspection, always get a home inspection, but if you get one done prior, you can actually waive that condition also, or maybe tighten it.
Yep.
And because
There's all kinds of things
we can
you
get a home
do.
inspection done in 1 day, right? 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
So that will help you with your offer. So it's not always just about price. It's
No.
about condition on financing, home inspection. What other things should they, what about a deposit? Does a higher deposit help?
A deposit, you definitely want to get a good deposit, but whether you have $30,000 deposit or you have $10,000 deposit, if anything goes wrong with that transaction, you can't have access to that money either way.
Exactly.
So unless it goes to court, and
Right.
still, you definitely want to know that those folks are grounded, they're
Yeah.
qualified, and they have good down payment, good credit. I think that's really important.
That's important. That's
Yeah.
important. Sometimes a higher deposit may show that you're more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't ask for extras. Like, don't ask for extra chattels.
Yes.
Don't ask for
Yes.
anything like
Yeah.
that when you're competing in an offer.
That's right.
Correct?
You have to come with a clean offer. Whatever is said on the listing, that's what you bring.
Exactly.
Don't bring
and
anything extra.
try to be flexible with the closing date as well, right?
Yeah.
I think another good, and maybe you can elaborate on this, another good point would be to probably sell your existing house first, because if you've sold your house, you're more in an offer to negotiate on all terms if your house is already sold, I think.
Yeah, that's what I love to see.
Yes,
But the
that's
only,
what you advise probably,
yes,
right?
and that's definitely what I advise them to do. But the only thing is, it doesn't matter which way you do it, it's still really nerve-wracking for the client, because if we sell their home, and because of the shortage of
inventory.
That's right. So then they get panicky because they can't find a home.
Right, right.
So, but yes, definitely
Yes,
sell your
yes.
home first. Get a long closing date.
Long closing date, you
with
can
the
get
option
5,
to
6
move it up.
months if
Yeah.
you like, and then
Yeah.
you'll have lots of time
That's
for
what we-
inventory to come on the market, and
That's
have
what-
that was another point you made, the option to move up the closing, put that condition in there as well. There's so many things that
Oh,
that we
yeah.
can do and be creative with.
Yep.
Yeah.
To protect our clients, make sure they're always protected.
Exactly. When we're talking about clients, let's talk about multiple representation. Okay, so multiple representation, people don't know what that really is. Can you talk about multiple representation and multiple offers?
Yeah. Multiple representation basically means that you are representing two parties. And at any time there's any type of conflict, you have to explain prior to them signing the contract that if there's an issue or a conflict that they feel at any time, that they have the option to get out of the agreement of multiple representation and go hire an agent that will be representing them, which I think that's very important.
Yes.
One of the things that I do is I get one of my team members to work with the buyer and I work with the seller. It makes it easier.
Right.
Anything that's wrong with the home, you have to disclose.
Right.
Anything
right,
that
exactly.
will affect the value of the home. But anything to do with their personal situation, or
Yeah.
if they have to sell their home, that you do not have to disclose to either party.
Yes.
And you have to explain that from
Yeah.
the beginning, so one doesn't say something or the other that then will create weakness on either party to negotiate the best price. Or
Exactly. Multiple representation is not only the same agent representing the buyer and the seller. It could also be the same brokerage
Yep.
representing the buyer and
Yep.
the seller. So people have to understand that this is very common too,
Yep.
because a brokerage like your brokerage, my brokerage, that has over 100 people, it's very likely that they will have both buyers and sellers within that. The representatives in that brokerage will both have a buyer and a seller. So this is very common, and what we do is we get them to sign. They always have to sign a written consent
Yep.
before we present the offer, that they're aware that they're represented by the same brokerage, and this is multiple representation.
well, the
Yeah.
broker owns the listing, it's not the
Yes,
agent.
the
So
broker's
that
own.
definitely should be explained. You know, when you go on a listing appointment, you
All
should
the
explain everything in regards to representation, how it works, and the situation they may be in,
Correct.
just like you said.
Correct,
We
correct.
don't own the listing, it's our broker, so like you said, if they have 100 agents.
Perfect. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the way multiple representation works. How should a person choose an agent? Should they choose them based on commission? And this will be our last question, so let's give it a good shot here.
No, I definitely don't agree they should choose their agent based on their fee for service, I call it.
Yes.
Because there are so many things you have to prove yourself as an agent. Just like when you go buy a Porsche or you go buy, a different car, it's the same type of service you're going to get. I'm an agent that my fee for service is a bit higher, but then the quality of service, the knowledge, the negotiating skills, and what I provide to them, I believe that we have the added value that comes, that we deliver to them, that it's worth them paying for it.
Right.
There are a lot of folks that when I go in, they definitely want to hire an agent based on their fee, and I explain it.
Right.
Please don't go on their fee. Your home is the largest investment you have in your life. You want to hire the best person to represent you and get you the most value for your home, and also advise you what you need to do to your home so you get the most value.
Exactly. It's just like mortgage rates. You don't want to choose the lowest mortgage rate, and you only get, if you get something for free or discounted, you're only going to get what you paid for, right?
Exactly.
So you don't want to base it on fee, but base it on experience and track record. These things are very important because a lot of things can go wrong in a transaction, people that don't have the experience.
And a client can Google actually questions to ask a realtor when you're interviewing a realtor. I get many folks when I go in, they have a list like of 15 questions they want to know. So that's a great way of doing it. And actually when I go on a listing appointment, I explain to them, Google, go to our website. These are the questions that are most important for you to know. What is their track record? How many homes do they sell a year? Not just how many homes do they sell, how does the value of the sold price versus the list price, is for this particular agent you're looking at. That's very important information. So.
And this is even important with multiple offers because people feel, oh, my house will sell itself and I'll get multiple offers, but you need that experienced agent to handle the multiple offers or it can end up backfiring on you, correct?
Oh, for sure. You could lose all 7 offers, or you could you think you picked the right one and then it doesn't close because the financing or they didn't disclose information. To me, if you're selling your home, you should always hire a professional and the best professional in the industry. That's what I believe.
That's perfect. And I agree with you too. And thank you so much for all the information that you shared with us. I'm sure it was very informative for our viewers. Want to leave us with your some closing words, your contact, website?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Carmela, for having me. I have a huge passion for what I'm doing for 30 years. And I love helping the consumer, our clients. If anyone wants to call us, we're with Remax first. Mary Roy at maryroyteam.com, 905-426-7515. And thank you so much, Carmela.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Same here.